This is take 2. My battery ran out earlier, so I have to redo this. Okay, this is day 8 of reading through the Bible. This is Genesis chapter 25 and 26. Pretty long chapters though. First verse, chapter 25. It says, Abram married another wife. So now I gotta wonder, what the heck was all that rape of Hagar, beating of Hagar, throwing her out in the wilderness to die with her child, Abraham being party to all this, and he was the one who raped her. It was his child. God telling Hagar to go back so God could bless her sons for her obeying and being beaten half to death and raped half to death. What is all this if he's going to marry somebody else and, on top of it, have a bunch of kids with her? Another feminist rant on the Bible. Then the next, verse 5, Abraham deeded everything to his son Isaac. To his sons by concubine, however, he made grants as he sent them away eastward to be away from his son Isaac. So in other words, this is my real son. You're just a bunch of jerks. Get out of here. Here's a couple of goats. Get the hell out of my life. Some upstanding dude this dude is, right? It says he lived 175 years, which we know nobody kept track of when they were born. They didn't have the 12-month calendar at the time. Nobody knew how anybody. I think they were just trying to say he was old when he died. Okay, he was buried next to his wife. If you remember, I think I told you in a previous video that he had bought, when his wife died, he had bought some land to bury his wife in. Well, in the end of this towards the end of this chapter, it says he was buried next to his wife in that land that he had bought. Ishmael had the 12 sons. Doesn't matter how many daughters he has because they're not important. They're women. I guess that'll be the 12 tribes. Let's see. I think that's it for chapter. No, here's birth of Esau. Okay, this is in chapter 25. I thought this was in chapter 26. The birth of Esau and Jacob. Now, Isaac married Rebekah, remember? In other words, he raped her. Now the Lord said, Isaac told the Lord, Rebekah's sterile. Couldn't possibly be Isaac's fault. Men are never sterile in the Bible. Have you ever realized that? It's never the men who are sterile. It's always the women. If the women aren't having children, it's because they're sterile, not the men. Anyway, so he says to the Lord, please give me kids. And the Lord says, okay, I'll give you kids. So Rebekah becomes pregnant with twins. And we all know this story. Esau came out, he was all hairy and red, and Jacob, let's see, I don't think it says anything about Jacob's look, but it did say that Jacob had him by the foot when he was born. So I guess this was supposed to be a sign that they were going to constantly be in battle with each other. Anyways, Esau became like a person of the field and a hunter. He was out there. He became Isaac's favorite. Jacob was more of a house husband. I guess he stayed around and did the cooking and helped around the house. So he well, I shouldn't say so, maybe in spite of, he became Rebekah's favorite. One day, I guess because Esau was technically born first, even though they're twins, which I never understood the birthright thing about the oldest son getting the inheritance. What does it matter what order they're born in? I don't know where that tradition came from, but whatever. Heck, maybe it never really was. Maybe the Bible just said it was. This is a book of fables anyways. Esau. So Esau was out in the... I can't remember if he was... I guess he was out hunting. And he came home and Jacob was in his... or came to Jacob's tent, whatever. And he says, I'm hungry. Jacob was cooking a meal. And Jacob says, I'm not going to let you eat until you sell me, I'm not going to give you anything to eat unless you sell me your birthright. Give me your birthright. And Esau says, I'm going to die if I don't eat. Real drama king, right? I'm going to die if I don't eat. So he signs over his birthright to Jacob. Which, okay, by the time they did all that, Esau could have made his own meal. This story makes no sense. Anyway, so then Jacob gave him something to eat. Now, Isaac and Abimelech, apparently there was a famine in the land where Isaac was, so he had to move wherever. Oh, Gerar, I guess that's how you say it. And, tell me if this sounds familiar. Remember, Isaac's married to Rebekah. Isaac says, this is my sister, whenever anybody asks, right? Now, apple don't fall too far from the tree there, huh? To save his own skin, despite it might kill his wife, he tells everybody that that's his sister. Why did you marry her in the first place if you're not going to claim her? And the reason, he says, my wife looks nice and other men might kill me to be able to rape her. Rape is rape. They're not going to kill you to rape her. If they want to rape her, they're going to rape her, whether or not you're alive or dead. So, he's only looking out for himself. Who cares if they rape my wife? I want to live. So anyways, apparently Abimelech, the ruler, was outside seeing them. I don't know what they were doing, but it cued Abimelech into them being in a relationship. He calls Isaac in. He says, why did you lie? You could have gotten us in trouble because we would have been raping somebody else's wife. Now, not they would have been in trouble for rape. They would have been in trouble for raping somebody else's wife. Now, okay? So if she wasn't married and they raped him, that would have been okay. That would have been good with God. Anyways, so he tells everybody, don't touch this man, don't touch his wife, leave him alone. Isaac, God found this all acceptable, and the dick he is, he blesses Isaac just like he blessed Abraham. He blessed the lying, cheating, two-bit whore Isaac the same way he blessed his father, the two-bit lying garbage whore Abraham, for all the garbage and lies he's telling. And it says right here that God blessed him and increased his abundance and all this stuff, and he became wealthy. Abimelech sent him out. He says, you've gotten too wealthy. It's causing dissension in here, so why don't you go on your way? I don't know why this story's really in there. There was something about the arguments over some wells being dug. Abimelech comes to Isaac later on. He says, let's make an oath that we won't be angry with each other. There'll be no strife. We'll have a pact. And that was that. I don't know what that was a setup to. I don't know. All these stories are setups, if you notice. And that was just about it. He had his well, and the very end, I don't understand this. Verse 34. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, the daughter of so-and-so. But they became a source of embitterment to Isaac and Rebekah. And close curtain. What was that about? So maybe the next chapter will tell. We'll see.